Hi everyone, I'm Dayna from Love OzYA and I'm here with Allayne Webster talking about her new book SELFIE, which comes out this month, I believe, or next month I should say, beginning of April. Is that right, Allayne?
Yes, 4th of April.
4th of April, not long to go now for people.
Yeah.
Really loved reading the book, but for people who haven't read it, can you tell us what it's all about?
Sure. So it's YA, obviously. It's the younger end of YA, early
Yes.
YA. And it's about Instagram fame. It's about friendship. And yeah, it's centered around Tully, who has been obsessed with a girl called Dean online for quite some time before Dean actually arrives at Tully's school. And so when Dean does turn up, Tully can't believe her luck when Dean more or less selects her to be her best friend. So it's about the relationship that ensues from there on, from a relationship that was essentially online and now has moved into real life.
Yeah. And I really loved it. I thought the relationship and the friendship was beautifully explored through that. And I think you captured really well that sort of intensity of friendship that happens when you are in early high school and friends mean the world to you with that. And what I wondered about was what inspired you to write the book?
Sure. So, obviously we all live with the online world now. So, that's ever present in my mind. But for me, usually when I write YA, it harks back to some nugget from many moons ago. And so for me, it stems from when I was a teenager, being quite enamored by someone, and then voicing that to an adult and saying, that I really like this person, and it was written off as a crush. And I remember at the time feeling quite insulted by that, because to me it was very, very, very real. So it's stuck in my mind ever since, and and it's the things that stick with me are the things that I find that I need to explore and I need to write about. So that's actually where it stems from, is having a sort of a crush when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Oh, that makes so much sense, because it really reminded me of intense friendships that I had too when I was a teenager, and I thought you captured that beautifully. One of the things that I also think you do really well is capture voice. And I remember when I was reading The Center of My Everything, and which has got 4 points of view, and thinking this is like a tricky thing to do as a writer, because if you don't do it well, sometimes the voices can sound really similar. Yeah. And you did it beautifully, perfectly. I just was amazed by that book. And I think this book has got a fantastic sense of voice as well, entirely different, because of course it is pitched at that younger age end of YA. But what techniques do you use to get into that teenage mindset and capture that teenage voice?
Sure. Oh, I obviously spend quite some time writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting some more, until I feel like I've found the voice and I've been able to inhabit it and know it. So it's such a strange thing to have to explain to non-writers, how you have to basically keep revisiting something over and over and over again until you get to know it. Sometimes when I talk to kids about writing, I say it's like acting on paper. And I think that's what I have to do. I have to essentially act in my own mind and pretend to be someone else, and then I can find that voice and inhabit it. So yeah, a lot of writing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you keep track of how many drafts you have? You know, would you be
Oh
able to
God,
say, "Oh,
no.
this is draft 12 or something"? No?
No, absolutely not. No, that's too scary to even think about. I think that yeah, again, I wouldn't have a clue. I just know when it's working, it's working. So
Yeah.
I just keep writing until I can make it work, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And that, I
Mm.
mean, that was going to be one of my other questions was because I think, is this book 11 for you?
Book 10.
10, book 10.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I wondered, has the process of writing, is it different for each book, or have you sort of now got into a rhythm where you recognize the stages that you're going through and it feels a bit more familiar?
Yeah. Again, I think for me personally, all I've ever done when I've written a book is learn to write that book.
Yeah.
So the next book is a beast of its own. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about
Yeah.
that other than yeah, each time it's a new process. Sometimes forward planning works, and other times it doesn't, and you go off script of what you've what
Yeah.
you've laid out for yourself. So yeah, I don't. It's just a constant revision until I get it right.
Hmm. See. And did you need to do a lot of research when you were doing this? I mean, and that's sort of a funny phrase to use for a contemporary novel, but it did strike me that there's an awful lot that to really capture that digital native voice of young people that are growing up in this time of Instagram and hashtags and social media
Mm,
and the influences that they inhabit that world with. Again,
mm.
that is formed so much a big part of this book was that needing to do research around that.
Yeah, so oddly enough, because authors, part of our job these days is to spend quite a lot of time online in, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but so we're already online quite a lot, and I guess you absorb things, through osmosis when you're online, and you see. Language that other people use and comments made and all that kind of thing. So it wasn't a far stretch, I must admit, to just be able to utilize that and write. And I would say too that I think that what adults experience online isn't far removed from what teenagers experience online. So if anything, maybe I was drawing from even some of my own experiences and things that I'd seen online. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fantastic. And I guess the final question I had for you was really what you hope readers will take away from reading Selfie.
Um, well, obviously, uh, sometimes I write, I guess, with an agenda as such. But I think with this book, at the core of it, it really is about friendships and what a real genuine friendship is and what that looks like. And also how, some friendships can go a bit wobbly, but then you can work at them and communicate
Mm,
uh, and end up stronger for it. So, obviously I want readers to be entertained and to enjoy these characters. But I guess that I hope that it brings them hope. Um, that that some of this stuff can be worked out with a little bit of patience um, and love.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, it certainly worked for me. I definitely would say that's definitely how I felt about it. Of just and all the relationships as well. I mean, I really loved the families, the contrast to the two families that you presented and the dynamics there, I thought were just beautiful as well. So thank you so much, Allayne, both for your time tonight and also for writing such a wonderful book. And I really hope everyone goes out and picks up a copy on the 4th of April when it comes out. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.